Hello and welcome to part 2 of the video presentation of Lean Management. In part 1 we introduced the concept of Lean Management. My name is Michael Morrow, and in this presentation we will briefly introduce several of the more well-known tools of Lean Management. Lean Management can involve significant change in an organisation, both from cultural and process perspectives. There are many tools in the Lean Management toolbox that can be applied. As each organisation is different, not all tools can or need be applied, and the sequence of application of tools will differ between organisations. There is no one-size-fits-all approach. It is important to stress that the application of Lean tools alone will not necessarily guarantee long-term success. As Lean Management is a philosophy, the culture of the organisation must also be addressed, involving strategic top-down direction from senior management, buy-in from all stakeholders, which invariably involves training in Lean Management principles, development of a systems focus rather than a blame mentality, and the instigation of a team-based culture to foster continuous improvement. To enact change firstly involves drawing a line in the sand, so to speak, to develop a baseline for how things are in the current processes. This is done through the development of a value stream map, or VSM, of the current state by a team-based approach. Using the teamwork approach, various Lean tools are then considered to improve the productivity of the processes mapped in the current state VSM. The improvements as a result of the application of the selected Lean tools are estimated, and the estimated quantitative improvements are transferred to a new value stream map, the future state VSM, essentially a vision of Lean implementation for the next 12 months. When the future state VSM is agreed to, an action plan is developed, and the implementation is based on Deming's PDCA cycle, the cornerstone of continuous improvement. Plan the implementation, do the implementation, check to see the implementation is meeting predicted performance goals, act on any deficiency in performance criteria, and repeat the whole process again. If the future state VSM was for 12 months, in 12 months' time, the future state VSM effectively becomes a model for the current state VSM and is modified, of course, for any changes or practical issues that had arisen during the implementation, and the whole process is repeated again, according to the PDCA cycle. This is continuous improvement. Due to the time constraints of this presentation, we will focus on a brief introduction into value stream mapping and 3 of the tools from the Lean Toolkit: 5S housekeeping in an organisation, visual management, and standard work. Value stream mapping is a very important tool, as it sets the vision and direction of change for Lean implementation activities by providing a baseline for improvement through the current state VSM and the resulting improvements through the future state VSM. Value stream mapping is a type of process mapping used for recording all tasks from order to delivery. Unlike other process mapping methods, value stream mapping tracks the flow of material and information throughout the value stream. The value stream refers to all linked value-adding processes required to make a product or provide a service to the customer within the organisation. Value stream maps are a communication aid within the whole organisation to broadcast to all stakeholders of what is being implemented, and becomes a tool to manage change within the organisation. Value stream maps are an overview of the whole operation and provides a holistic view of the whole operation. It's not meant to be detailed. Where further detail is required, especially for the implementation of Lean tools, the value stream map can be complemented by other detailed process mapping methods, such as flow process charting. In this slide, an example of a current state map is shown. The VSM can be divided into broad categories. The customer is represented in the top right-hand corner. The supplier, or several key suppliers, is represented in the top left-hand corner. The flow of value-adding processes, the value stream, is represented in the middle section of the VSM. The flow of information between the customer and the organisation, between the organisation and the supplier, and also within the organisation to enable the value-adding processes to happen, is represented in the top middle section of the VSM. Relevant data for the value-adding processes are added in process data boxes immediately below the value stream. The lead time for all value-adding activities and NVA activities, in terms of weighting as a result of batching, is recorded in the timeline and summary statistics at the bottom section of the VSM. The VSM is read from right to left in the upper half of the map, and from left to right in the lower half of the VSM. 5S is considered a foundation practice of lean management. Through the use of a system to improve productivity by using housekeeping and organisation practices to remove impediments to productivity improvements, organisations see a change in culture as a result of systemised measurement and accountability being reinforced in the workplace. It is well documented that all world-class manufacturers and service organisations employ effective housekeeping practices as a way of doing things in their respective organisations. 5S refers to the 5 steps that happen during 5S blitzes, or rapid transformation of work areas. The first S is for sorting and removing all unnecessary items. The second S is for setting an order, finding optimal locations for every item that has been left in the work area, a place for everything and everything in its place. The third S is for shine, cleaning the work area and removing all causes of contamination, such as oil leaks in equipment. The fourth S is for standardize, establishing the rules and standards for keeping the area clean. The fifth S is for sustaining, the hardest of all the S's, as it involves maintaining the 5S standards in a disciplined way, such as regular 5S audits, incorporation of 5S training in induction processes, and including 5S as an agenda item in toolbox meetings. The vision of 5S is to remove all bad habits that reinforces poor housekeeping, as seen in the before photo, to instilling discipline and good housekeeping habits, much like you see in supermarkets, as shown in the after photo. By ensuring everything has a well-defined and labelled location, quality, training and stock management will vastly improve. As part of the 5S Blitz process, it is important to take as many photos as possible, before 5S starts, during the 5S Blitz, and of course, at the completion of the 5S Blitz. The improvements are immediately obvious, as seen in these photographs. All areas of the organisation are included in the 5S transformation. The factory floor, warehouse, offices, kitchens, toilets, and cupboards, as shown in these photos. 5S is a simple yet effective tool, capable of delivering immediate, powerful results. It is a company-wide approach based on understanding and discipline, and is a foundation practice of lean management. 5S relies heavily on the principle of visual management, ensuring variations from the norm are easily seen, enabling the condition to be quickly rectified. So why visual? Perhaps through the use of examples, we can see why visual management is an important tool in the Lean toolkit. Floor markings, for example, aisleways for pedestrians or forklifts, where to park trolleys, or locations to store pallets on the floor. Signs. Signs are very visual, designed to inform or warn. Examples include speed limit signs and emergency evacuation signs. Charts to display information. Using a graphical format, charts provide concise information such as production efficiency, the number of reworks, or the number of sales. Notice boards to display relevant charts, notices and other relevant documents. And-on lights. Used in manufacturing, and-on lights illuminate different colours for different conditions, typically red for process problems and green for showing everything is okay. Tags and labels, especially in 5S, tags such as red tags are used to visually highlight components that require decisions to be made about their removal. Labels are important as they are used for identifying all component locations. Visual management boards provide a forum for teams to measure and display relevant metrics that they are responsible for and directly influence. Teams have the opportunity to monitor their own work and plan and implement improvements to reduce non-value added activities in their work area. Standard work, or also known as standardized work, is an important tool in lean management. The standardizing of work methods builds upon the foundations of 5S and visual management principles. So what is standard work all about? It's about determining the most effective combination of labour, materials and equipment for a given task. It involves the documentation of the best known method through the use of work instructions and procedures. Standard work serves as a basis for continuous improvement. In fact, without standard work, improvement in productivity wouldn't be as rapid and sustainable compared to having standard work in place. Standard work involves the documentation of the best known method and becomes a standard method for all operators to be trained in. This becomes a norm. Through continuous improvement, when improvement to the method becomes known, the documentation is adjusted and all operators are trained in the improved method. In lean management, there are 3 elements to standard work. All 3 elements are interrelated. The first element is the cycle time of the process. How long should the process take to complete, based on the best known method? The cycle time is measured through time study or through more accurate methods such as methods time measurement. The second element refers to the amount of work in progress or uncompleted work. This refers to the level of batching, which you may recall is represented as a category of inventory in the 8 wastes. To reduce queuing and increase throughput, where practical, the amount of work in progress should be reduced as much as possible. The ultimate vision is the batch size of 1, known as one-piece flow. The third element is the work practice, the documentation of the best known method. It is important that all operators follow the best known method, and this can only happen when the method is documented and all operators are trained to this method. When changes to method occurs, a change to the cycle time occurs. Likewise, a change to standard quantity of work in progress will put into effect a change in the methods. Without a standardized documented method, different operators will take different times to complete the same process, as they may all have different methods. Standard work involves capturing the knowledge of the operators in the process, determining the most effective method, eliminating non-value added activities within the process. The revised method is then documented and all operators are trained in the new method. The outcome will be consistent cycle times amongst the operators, as well as consistent quality. So there you have it, a brief introduction to lean management. We have only touched on the subject of lean management. If you would like more information on lean management, please contact Tomorrow Solutions.